This is the Ryan Luelf Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ryan Luelf Show. I'm Chaz, this is Barlow, and that's Ryan. Barlow, kick us off, man. How we doing today?
Can I hit the unmute button now, Chaz? Can I hit the unmute
Yes.
button? Okay. Well,
Gladly.
That music kind of makes me feel nostalgic and like ready to roll. Are you guys ready to roll in the Ryan Luelf Show today?
Ready to roll, man.
Yes, we are.
Well, Ryan, let's start off with you, my friend. You've had a very, very busy week with the Ryan Luelf brand. Of course, you know, it was a week ago that we did the official launch of the Ryan Luelf Show, the podcast, which is now streaming on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube and all social networking. And this is just the abbreviated live version of the Ryan Luelf Show. But every week on Wednesdays and or Thursdays, we try to get together and just give people a sense of style and authenticity. I can't even say it. Authenticness, maybe. Rawness, realness through you, your coaching, and your brand. And you've had a pretty big week, my friend. Do you want to give us a couple of wins?
Yeah. Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Hear you
all
loud
good.
and clear.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So I'm just sitting out here on my front porch at my house. And today's Wednesday. So just got home from playing a couple hours of basketball with my 14-year-old son, Arthur. And prior to that, I was up early this morning. So normally my routine, not every single day, sometimes I'm flexible, but this morning I got up early. I ran to the gym and I was going to meet my workout partner who's back in town. But some things changed in his schedule. So I just got in a good 30-minute workout. And then I ran about halfway home and then I jumped on a bus the rest of the way for 50 cents and knocked out a few business things. And then I had to wake up my 4-year-old son, Arrow, and my 14-year-old son, Arthur. They were both still sleeping, so I woke them up. We got around pretty quickly. We caught a taxi into town. We had enough time then to enjoy a smoothie and breakfast together. And then we walked a few blocks to drop off Arrow for school. And the school that he goes to is actually in need of about $1,000. They're raising some money to help with kids that can't afford healthy lunches, for some clothing items that's needed, some school supplies. And I just felt like that was something that I could contribute to by letting my network and people that I'm connected to, if you really think about it, I mean, what, if 100 people gave $10, we're there, right? And I mean, for this little small school of only 20 or 30, students, this would mean a lot. Like, it may not seem like maybe to a lot of my listeners that $1,000 is a whole lot, but it's a big deal for this school. And so I made a personal video and I've actually already raised $50. And then today I actually asked the director and the founder of the school if she would do a short video with me. And so she invited one of the teachers who's a little bit more fluent in English. They both got on the video. It was about a minute and a half. I haven't had a chance to send it out yet, but I'm going to be posting it on my social media. And I just interviewed them. I just said, hey, what are the needs of the school? How much are we trying to raise? What is the money going to go for? And how can people contribute, sponsor, and be a part of that? And that was my way. Like, I don't speak Spanish. There's not a whole lot of things I can physically do and contribute because the whole school is in Spanish. So Caroline obviously is able to do a few more things in that aspect, but she's out of town right now. And so when I saw the opportunity to raise money, when I saw the opportunity to leverage the network and the people that I'm connected to, I can just tell it means so much to these people. It's difficult to raise money here. They're asking a lot of the local businesses, but to be honest, a lot of the local businesses, they kind of need all of their revenue and their profits just to take care of them and their family, which I completely understand in this economy. So it just felt great to see a place where I could contribute, to add value, and to use some of my business acumen and my marketing skills. And they were willing to do a short video. And I think once I put it out there and more people are aware, I have no doubt we're going to raise the $1,000 this week. I really believe that. And yeah, those are just little neat things about living here in Ecuador and being fully present. You know, like the reason that we refer to me as a real life coach, it's the same reason that I'm in a tank top and my hat is on backwards, because 5 minutes before we went live on this podcast, I just got out of a taxi, walked down the hill to my house, and I've had a busy morning working out, breakfast with my boys, doing that video and seeing where I could contribute to the school, then meeting up with another friend, then having a conversation literally at the basketball court outside area with another friend that I hadn't talked to in a while. We were talking about just the transformation that's unfolding, and it was a really neat conversation. Then I hooped it up for, an hour and 15, hour and 20, hour and a half. And then we took my son, Arthur, who's 14, to get his first haircut in Ecuador. And we were using Google Translate, and we were also showing the gentleman a picture. And I honestly was using the time on Wi-Fi to knock out, responding to some messages, making sure I was on top of the people that have been reaching out about my coaching and masterminds. And honestly, I thought that was a good opportunity. And I had been involved in the conversation with the barber at the very beginning. And then he acknowledged that he saw the picture. And so I thought everything was good. Well, for my 14-year-old son, real life hit the fan today. And Arthur was trying to tell him to stop, but the guy just kept cutting. And he went about an inch shorter in the front than my son once. And my son, by the time I realized it, he is in tears. And he's trying to figure out how to communicate with the guy. Obviously, it's easy to look in reverse and think of things that obviously I could have done different, he could have done different. But the reality is that it was too late. From the standpoint of, I obviously don't feel like the haircut looks bad, but I get it. From my 14-year-old son perspective, I mean, he is losing his mind.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
And I mean, he is so angry. I pay the guy, which this is just a side note. And listen, this one did feel like a $4 haircut just because, unfortunately, with the language barrier, it didn't turn out the way my son obviously wanted it to. And that's an understatement, okay? But this haircut, I just paid for one in December, and it was $40 at a barbershop in Jinx, Oklahoma, okay? Listen, I will give my son credit. Arthur loved what he did along the sides and everything. And we have a plan for how we're going to help the guy with Caroline's assistance next time. We're going to take pictures today so he can show him. And actually, I believe the fact that he, didn't do it the way my son wanted it today, right now, oh my God. I mean, we got out of there. I paid the guy $4, a tenth of what I normally would pay. But I was just focused on feeling and being completely present and creating a space where my son, I mean, he was screaming once we got out of there. He was so mad. He was saying, why? And he was yelling. And all I knew in that moment is allow him to feel everything. There is nothing wrong with his anger. There is nothing wrong with his tears. There is nothing wrong with anything that he is doing. He needs to fully feel, and we're outside. There's nobody around. Nobody else knows what's going on. And honestly, guys, as a father, as a dad, you want to fix it. You want to jump in. You have all these things that you might say. And other than just, I'm sorry, son, I didn't say anything. And I allowed him to scream, to yell, to basically release all that energy. And then he stopped for a moment and he was just so distraught. And I just came and wrapped my arms around him. And I said, Arthur, I'm right here with you, son. I know this is really hard. And I said, I want to spend more time in the moment with you. But we do have to get some groceries. We're at the mercy of the taxi system, and I do have to be home for a live podcast. And he said, I understand, Dad. And I said, but I'm right here with you, son. And I know it's hard, and I know it sucks. And, thankfully, actually, we had a little bit of space where we had to walk, and just walking and him, I never told him he couldn't be mad. I never made him feel like there was anything wrong with what he was feeling, what he was leaning into, the tears that were pouring down his face. Like, to me, we signed up to feel the entire spectrum of every emotion. We did. We forget, and when we're young like he is, he's probably not thinking, man, my soul signed up for this. I knew this was going to happen ahead of time, okay? But I know that. And I just felt so grateful in that moment. It was man, guys, I can't even explain what it feels like inside as a father, as a dad. And for those of us that are listening that have kids, you can relate. You know, an earlier version of me would have tried to fix it. An earlier version of me would have not really been fully present. Another version of me would have said a bunch of dumb shit that probably wouldn't have helped my son at all. And I'm so grateful for all the investment of money, time, energy, effort that I have chosen to put forth in my own growth, my own evolution, my own self-actualization, so that for moments like this, my presence, it didn't change it. It didn't take it away. It couldn't make the hair go back onto his head. It couldn't change the reality of it. But what it could say without me even really saying anything is, you're not alone. And there's nothing wrong with how you're responding, son. This is hard, and you deserve to have a father who's all the way in with you and is feeling your pain right now. That's real life. And that's what was going on in my world not 20 minutes prior to me being on here. And those are the kinds of situations that I believe over the last 25 years plus of my adult life have prepared me to be a great listener, to bring my presence, and to show up and be able to hold space for anyone who is seeking transformation, for anyone that just can't figure out why they're not experiencing peace on a regular basis in their life. That's what my one-on-one containers and working with me as a personal real life coach is like. And that's what it's like in the environment of my masterminds. And yeah, so that's what's been going on in my world today, gentlemen. And but you know what? Isn't that real life? Like, that's not simulated. That's not fabricated. That's really what's been happening. And the question is, are we fully present for everything happening in our lives, or do we tend to live in our mind, which is usually either thinking about memories from the past and then taking that hurt and that pain from things that we are still wishing had went different, and then projecting that into the future and creating a fear in our imagination about something that we have no idea whether it's going to happen or not, but yet it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then we wonder why we're in the same patterns and the same loops over and over and over again.
Wow. Man, that's a lot to unpack there. That's as real as it gets, guys.
And
Seriously.
that's the end of the Ryan Luelf Show today.
Oh, Barlow, don't be such
Ryan,
a sourpuss on that. Come
Ryan,
on.
that was a
Come
14-minute. That was a 14-minute monologue. That's half the
Monologue.
show. It's half the show. I have things to cover.
Great job.
Great
job, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Chaz. I have a couple comments, but I'll let Chaz go.
No, Barlow, let's hear your comments first. I think this is important. Let's start with you. What are your comments to that?
Well, first off, to your story with your son, that goes back and connects to your entire brand and coaching platform. It is a safe container for men to completely fall apart, and you're going to see a lot of that line in a lot of your content that I know you haven't really even seen yet. But that line completely connects to the story that you just said. And your coaching is a safe container for men to completely fall apart. And that's what your son did. And I think what you just described is visual evidence and psychological evidence of a place where men can come to completely feel safe, heard, the presence and power of another man, another human being who normally judges, who is coded and programmed to judge or to say the stupid dad thing. But instead, You just gave him a safe spot to completely fall apart. And what a gift. What a gift that must have been. I also was adding up the amount of money that you've spent so far today. So between your bus ride, your breakfast, and your smoothie, and it's a 1:20 your time. So you're all in for about, I don't know, 85 cents so far today. Good for you. And then Chaz and I would like to donate $50 to your school. I'm going to donate 5. Chaz is going to donate 45. So together, $50.
Through your credit card, Barlow.
I love it. I love it. Oh,
So
man. But hey,
together,
by the way, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, add $50 to the mix, and we'll donate to your program. Now, can we get to the content?
I'll use your credit card for that payment.
What do you say, Chaz?
I'll use your credit card for that. How about that?
Sure you will. I'm sure you will.
I have to get authorization anyway, right?
Can we use the next? I don't know, 14 minutes for the content, for the 30 minutes of content that we actually produced for the show? Can we move on?
No, this is the Ryan Luelf Show, Barlow. This is not the Brian Barlow Show.
All right,
Come on.
Let's get on it, man. I'm ready.
So I do want you to take 2 or 3 minutes, because I got 2 pieces of content that I want to get through before in the show. Take 2 minutes. I'm reading the transcripts from your masterminds to get a sense of like how these guys are unloading on you. Give me 1 or 2 minute and a half version of your take. What most people don't know is we're in the middle of really our first mastermind session, and we're now filling roles and names for the next one, which is coming in 4 to 5 weeks. But right now we're in the middle and starting to wrap up the first session. Give me the wins that you're feeling from your clients.
Yeah, I mean, I think one that comes to mind is there was a gentleman that specifically a couple of sessions ago. I don't recall now exactly what question I kind of put out there, but it really landed with him, and we started interacting back and forth. And for the next 30 to 45 minutes, we were basically able to have him describe something that happened when he was around 7 or 8 years old. And it was a situation where he has a deep, deep memory of being embarrassed by his father in front of other people that were visiting their home. Now, this is not to blame his father. This is not for him to be a victim of life. But we realized in that moment, he's now 22, 23 years down the road from that, and he still is living from what he decided was true about him in that moment. And what he decided unconsciously, unbeknownst to him as a little 7 or 8 year old boy, was that he is a disappointment. And he's been living from the identity that he's a disappointment for over 2 decades. Now, just think about this for a second. Like, he is not aware of this. So he's frustrated about where he's at in his career. He's frustrated about the kind of connection that he has with his wife currently.
Right,
he's very frustrated about where he's at financially. Okay, but think about this.
Everything, Ryan. That's huge.
Everything.
Yeah.
So think about this, though. If his deepest core identity that he believes is true about him is that I'm a disappointment, then he has essentially been taking actions to prove what he believes is true about him to be right. And then those actions lead to maybe his wife expressing her disappointment. Maybe
insecurity.
Maybe some other people are expressing. Yeah, maybe other people are expressing their disappointment about the fact that he hasn't made more money or that he's not further along with his career.
And
so
blaming
then
himself
all of a
for
sudden,
it, right?
Well, what's happening is that universe is matching his frequency and his vibration that he is blind to. So then, because he's living from that, his actions are what they are, and then it's creating a reflection through other people that's revealing and making him right about himself. Sure enough, I'm a disappointment. So then why should he grow? Why should he evolve? Why should he go for a new job opportunity, or to try to get promoted, or to launch his own business, or to save and invest his money, or to set goals? Like, if he's already living from a predetermined idea that I'm a disappointment, well, then it's not even worth trying, because it's just going to turn out the same way. And now he's got evidence. It's the same thing that's been going on his whole entire life, and he doesn't realize it. He doesn't see it. So he can try harder. He can, increase his will. He can tell himself he's going to be more disciplined. He can crack the whip. And none of it is going to get to the root cause of why he's going to continue to experience disappointment over and over and over again in his life, until we shine the light and he realizes that what is absolutely not true about him is he is not a disappointment. And the realization of that then removes what is in the way of his real identity, which he is love, he is powerful, he is joy, he is vibrant, he is a miracle incarnated in a human meat suit. And the realization of that removes that, which means he can stop living in that frequency and vibration. And all of a sudden, it creates different actions, which then creates a different outer world to reflect the new world that he now realizes has always been there. And he didn't realize that he had been living under the false identity of something that had happened when he was 7 or 8.
Hey, Chaz, can you bring up that frequency document? I don't know if you're on the chat. I sent you a message in the chat.
Yes.
But can you send up put up that frequency document? And I just want Ryan to kind of review it for just a second. But while he's doing that, Ryan,
yes, I can.
Like you were able to really find the sweet spot where most people, he's probably not open. First off, he's probably not opened up to a lot of people. And secondly, you were able to dive in and pull out something he probably never really connected.
No, he'd never realized it. He was completely oblivious. He had no idea that was really, but I mean, he could feel it in his body. Like when I asked him, "Hey, how does that feel?" And it feels heavy. It feels like I never make progress. It feels like everything I try just falls, just goes to shit, just doesn't work. I feel defeated. I feel down. I feel depressed. Right. And that's the thing, is that so many people try to change everything in their external world, not realizing their external world is actually great feedback to simply help them discover and reveal what's really going on in their inner world.
Yeah. Were you able to bring...
Hey, Barlow, how much time do we have left on the show for today?
8 minutes.
Okay. I want to ask Ryan one question before we get to the content, and I want to make this really quick. Barlow, do you have anything you want to input on that?
No, go ahead.
That last thing? Okay. Brian, Ryan, you're Barlow, you're Brian. Whoa, here we go. Okay, mind loop.
Get it together,
Ryan.
Chaz.
Get it together, man. Okay, yeah. Ryan, I want to clarify something you said earlier, and I've been thinking about this maybe for the last 5 or so minutes. I hate to bring this up. You said the universe matches your frequency. And in a previous episode, you've also said the universe wants what's good for you. And I guess I'm a little confused. Maybe you can help me understand, and maybe the rest of our audience kind of understand what you mean by that. Because in my mind, I hear that and go, God makes all things work together for our good, especially for those who are in communion with him or connected to him, right? And you can say it a slightly different way as like the universe, right? Like however you want to view that. But I guess the thing is, like, if the universe works together for your good, then why would he want to match something that's bad?
Is he even...
Well, let me ask you a question. Well, no. This is beautiful, Barlow. I love where he's going with this. Let me ask you a question, okay? If you're up against a wall, okay, and you're so close to the wall that you can literally see every single tiny little speck and aspect of the paint, or if there's a chip, or if there was a bubble, or any of that, right?
Sure.
The wall itself is not able to see itself without contrast. Consciousness has no ability to even be able to know that it's consciousness without the contrast of unconsciousness. So what you're referring to as bad, you have no ability to even reference what you call is good without the thing you're referring to is bad. So if you remove you have to. It's all relative. You can't see yourself or even name it without the contrast of the exact opposite in order to then realize, like, if that is sickness, now I know how to recognize health. But if I've never witnessed or experienced sickness, I have no ability. I would just be running around just thinking that being healthy, I wouldn't even know what to call it.
But what does that have to do with the universe matching your frequency?
Because I felt like what you were trying to say is that if the universe has your back and if the universe is for your good, why would it allow someone to be in a frequency that isn't of their highest self? Isn't that what you were basically implying?
Well, when you're talking about the universe saying, like, you know, like, I guess in the case, I was mostly thinking about the soul contract thing, like forgetting the whole idea that you had created a soul contract. And then if you morphed a little bit.
Right, but if you never come here and forget, if you never come here and get lost in these misidentifications, how would you be able to recognize the true identity of who you are at your essence? Like, you wouldn't, if you were just always in your true identity, you wouldn't even know what to call it. You wouldn't even know how to reference it. But by actually, if the universe allows us to forget and to misidentify with who we think we are as a human in this impermanent temporal experience in our body, then when we wake up, then when we remember, then when we realize, whoa, that's actually not who I am. That's not the truth about me. That is a constraint. That's a prison that I'm living in, and I didn't realize it. But now I realize, oh, wow, underneath that, I'm a timeless, limitless, boundless, ineffable soul. And that's who I am before I forgot. But if I hadn't forgotten, then I wouldn't be able to remember. And the only way I can fully experience remembering is I have to first have forgotten. Does that make sense?
No, and I have rabbit holes of questions that we don't have time to go down. And Barlow, I know you've got 2 pieces of content.
Again, you guys ruined the show today. You ruined it.
Chaz,
are you able to bring up the frequency chart, Chaz, or no?
I sent it in the group chat, yeah.
No, on the screen.
Well, you said put it in the chat. I'll put it on the screen.
This is one of the documents that if you sign up for Ryan Luelf Coaching, this is one of the documents that you automatically get. There's 4 or 5 documents that you get, but this one is the specific guide to frequency and the power of frequency. And you kind of outline what each frequency actually does and can do. It's one of the PDF files that you actually get.
I see it.
Yeah, and so and again, we only have 45 seconds, but just give me a broad overview of how people can use frequency to be game changers mentally.
Yeah, I mean, I would just describe it, since we have a limited amount of time here, as you go from living in your mind to actually dropping down and living completely in your body. And I can't wait to elaborate more on that, because I think so much of the 3-dimensional world that we're in here on planet Earth is maybe unconsciously or accidentally, I'm not even blaming it, but most of the narrative that we're taught when we're growing up is actually moving us to think that we should be living from our mind. And a lot of narratives even talk about your body is sinful. You can't follow the flesh. You don't want to tap into it. And I think we've got that completely fucked up and completely reversed. Your body is the most amazing thing ever created. Really, and it has an incredible system of intuition. And when you drop down into your body and realize your mind has been conditioned. Your mind has been programmed. Your mind is not of your own. In fact, I'm at a point where I don't believe anything that my mind believes, because I know it didn't come from me, and it didn't come from God, and it didn't come from source. I have been influenced from the day I arrived, mostly by probably unconscious humans. you know? So adjusting our frequency is a lot about moving from living in our mind, recognizing we can observe our thoughts, and actually dropping and sinking down into our body and learning how to trust that divine guidance, that internal system that, we'll use Chaz's language, that God installed in there, in you, that most people, from my observation and looking back on my life, have no clue how to tap into.
They really don't. And Chaz, you can take it off the screen and get that first video that I sent. I went ahead and extended our time by 6 minutes. I want to run this video, and Chaz, tell me whenever you're ready. But I think it feeds in exactly to what you're talking about as far as the consciousness, and really what you're suggesting is we are so programmed at such a young age. We really have no option or ability to even get to our true, real, authentic self. And then we get depressed or mad or upset or frustrated because we feel like we're living a lie. And so that is signaling to our body, hey, you're not functioning the way that you're supposed to function. And you really do a good job of highlighting that and giving people a tool and a way out of that systematic, programmed way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
hey,
without a doubt.
Are we going to go to the Peter? Are we sorry, Ryan? What's up?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Are we going to go to the Peter Crone, or are we going to go to the Facebook or the Sex Talk reel?
Yeah, go to the Peter Crone real quick. Just roll
Peter Crone. Ryan,
ready.
what were you going to say?
Hey man, roll it. I love
roll
me some
it.
Peter Crone, man. Yep,
roll
it.
I think you want to be in the presence of somebody who you feel really gets you and isn't trying to fix you, who has your best interests at heart, who can accept that right now you're grieving and that's okay, or can accept that right now you feel like a loser and that's okay. As we become adults, which is really just children in bigger bodies, we're still looking for being seen, heard, and held, regardless of the form, therapy, paid, professional, whatever. I would want people to be in the presence of somebody who knows how to hold space for whatever it is they're going through. Listening truly is akin to love.
Ryan, I wanted your take on that video. I think it lines up with exactly what you were actually even talking about earlier: being seen, being heard, being held. That's what you did to your boy about 45 minutes ago, right?
Yeah, you know, Arthur, he just happens to be my son, and you know, he doesn't have to pay for that. You know, Caroline is my wife. I have 3 other children. You know, there's certain friendships and different times where people just get to encounter who I choose to live as a human being, and they benefit from that. But you know, people pay me to be able to show up for them in a very powerful way.
Yeah.
And the people that find me, they're seeking transformation.
Yeah.
They're open and available for the algorithm to match me up with them, for God to connect us, for the universe to match the vibration and frequency that they're doing their best to tune into. And all I'm really doing is I'm holding space and creating a container that is so safe and is so powerful that they actually will begin to have the realizations for themselves. And I'm going to obviously at times shine some light and bring something up that I take from listening to them, reverse engineer it, and help them see that they have been unconsciously living from a false identity, most likely for several decades. And so when you think about putting money towards something and wanting to see a return on your investment, what would anybody right now, if there are people listening to this and you have money, you have success, men, you have all the things, you have the car, your dream house, you've got the vacations, you go on the trips, but you're disconnected in your relationship or marriage with your spouse. There's no intimacy. There's no passion. You're silent. Your chest is about to explode every morning when you wake up because you're under so much pressure and stress. You never feel like you're good enough. You're disconnected from your children. You're disconnected from your own body. Maybe you're overweight. You're out of shape. You're faced with some disease or things that are going on that are bringing anxiety. Maybe you're in an actual funk and you don't know Yeah, you don't even know what to say, who to say it to, or how in the world you're going to get out of it. Now, think about this. If you were absolutely convinced that coaching with me or being in my mastermind, that on the other side, maybe one session, maybe it's all the sessions, maybe it's 6 weeks, maybe it's 6 days, maybe it's 6 hours, hell, maybe it happens in 6 minutes, because we are miraculous beings and you never know when all of a sudden truth is going to click in your awareness. Think about what you would be willing to exchange for the rest of your life to have the power to live from the peace that you are. Because what you are seeking, you actually have been the entire time. And I'm going to help you discover that. What would that be worth? How much money would you be willing to exchange if you were absolutely convinced that that was what was going to happen, and you would never have to live another second, another day, another moment, another night, or another missed opportunity of connection with the people you love the most because of what you were going to have happen working with me? What would that be worth?
Well, and I thought Peter said it best whenever he's like, it doesn't matter the name or the title or the credentials of your therapist, but can your therapist be there? And I think that's what separates you from really any other. I mean, I'm not to poo-poo other people. I'm sure they have their own styles, but you are absolutely present and there. And I think that's why the title and the name doesn't really matter as much. Your presence is the power.
This is from real life experience. This is me coaching based on what I live all day, every day. That's not perfection. That doesn't mean I don't sometimes slip back into a human identity. That doesn't mean I don't ever have to own something or apologize or say, hey, you know what? I was out of line there. Like, I'm still fully human. Yeah. But what I'm not willing to do is ignore those moments and blame or be a victim of life and not own the part that I co-created.
Good for you, my friend. Well, you know what? So next week, everyone's got to tune in. If you're watching right now and you're liking this content, we have a lot of content getting ready to be released. We have the podcast, the Ryan Luelf Show podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. Chaz, is that correct? We're doing 2 a week now?
Yeah, every Tuesday and Thursday. Right now we have, I believe, episodes 1 and 2 up on the YouTube channel from the main show. And we've got another, I guess, we have another one uploading tonight. It's going to be uploaded midnight tonight, so you guys will be able to see that, episode 3. And then I think after episode 3 is when everyone's actually going to see me jump into the show. So that'll be exciting for everyone else.
That is going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be the first episode. So like right now, everyone is seeing me watching this for like the second or third time.
Yeah.
I'm on the show from the very beginning after episode 3. So this is going to be a real hit for everyone. So anyway, guys, we are running low on time. Anything else? Anything you guys want to put in there?
Yeah, dare I say, you actually become an integral part to the show as the show grows and increases. And then
absolutely.
I'm going to
he was the exact he was the exact contrast that I needed for my content to come alive.
And I'm still not afraid. Honestly, Ryan, I am more confident than ever that I will poke the bear and we're going to get something out of it. But either way,
sounds good.
You know what I mean? Regardless, this is all about trying to understand, like, basically, Ryan, more about you, your coaching style, and how others can benefit from it. You know, that's really what we're here.
Absolutely, man. I love the role you play.
I'm going to let you close the show, but before we go, I do want to say next week's live show. Oh, next week we have the live guest on Thursday. Damn it. Anyway, we have this great show at some point in the next, I don't know, 4 to 6 months about sexual consciousness. What? And you're going to want to be, dude, everybody likes to talk about sex, right? Sexual consciousness and and the power of it. And so I had a bunch of content ready for today. Who knows when we'll get to play it. Just give you a reason to tune in.
Hey,
every time
we're on DST, Barlow, Divine Standard Time, right? Today's show went how today's show was supposed to go, and sexual consciousness will live another day.
Chaz, take it away.
Ryan, I think that's going to end the show right there. That needs to be like a quote that you...
Take us off air, Chaz. Jesus, let it be over. Let it be over.
I love it. I love it. This is the best part, guys.
Yeah, this is where the magic really happens, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what she
Man,
said.
okay, so it
Or
is.
he.
It is, isn't it? So
Either
Barlow-
one, man.
Barlow, I need to ask one more time. How much time do we have? Because I have something I do want to share, but I need to know if I can. Do
I
the whole
keep
thing
telling you to roll the last credits in the show, and you refuse. The show is over, Chad. Let it be.
You just told me to
done.
close the show out. You
Close
just told
it.
me to
Thank you
close
for
the show
watching the
out.
Ryan
How
Luelf
much time
Show.
do I have to close
We're
the
on
show
the
out?
We're done.
I love it. I love it, guys. This is so fun.
All right. All
right.
right. Well, anyway, that is in essence as real as it gets, the Ryan Luelf Show. We'll see you guys next week.
Perfect. Bravo. Bravo.